Hello, my name is Alana Benton from Binghamton University, and I will be arguing that there is not an overriding ethical obligation to protect and preserve microbial life in ecosystems. Though ethical, we simply do not have an overriding ethical obligation because it is not more important than science reasons such as medical and the formation of life, nor is it more important than the resources such as fresh water that there is to be gained from exploring other planets. In order to have scientific advances, we have to experiment on different planets. Furthermore, international law is extremely weak and unstable, as explored in Jack Goldsmith and Eric A. Posner's The Limit of International Law. If the protection of microbial life in ecosystems is such an overriding ethical obligation, international law is not the way to go about it. Goldsmith and Posner also go on to explore how states will only comply with international law when they fear that non-compliance will result in retaliation or other reputational injuries. It is simply naive of us to believe that states won't attempt to cheat the system and will abide by the international law. Directly quoted from the previous article mentioned, the aggressive international legalization expected just cannot happen as long as there are nearly 200 states with independent interests, agendas, and ideologies. Even democratic states have no reason to commit themselves to international law, because when doing so, this does not serve interests of the voters. In regards to my opponent's proposition speech, I believe that the judges should look carefully at my opponent's sources due to the fact that he cited Wikipedia as a source. My opponent exclaims that he wants to protect planets in order to explore them and avoid contamination. However, they are ignoring the natural contamination standard concept. In Macrospace, Enforcing Other Worlds by Richard Greenberg, he defines that the concept as unavoidable with exploration by stating, as long as the probability of people infecting other planets with terrestrial microbes is substantially smaller than the probability that such contamination happens naturally, with or without protection being added to international law, contamination is just as likely to occur. This also brings me to my opponent's final point. By stating his third argument, he contradicts his first. With continuous exploration of planets and mining them, it only increases the contamination of planets rather than protecting them. Second, my opponent goes on to justify that it should be incorporated into international law by stating that we were once bacteria. While that may be true, we are not responsible for all the possible futures and all future statistical probabilities. It is not our ethical obligation to place intrinsic value on what microbial life will become in a billion or so years from now.